Okay, let's do a little thought experiment. I want you to imagine a killer,
Mm-hmm.
not some sci-fi threat, but a real ancient assassin that's already responsible for more deaths than, well, basically anything else in history.
We're talking about a microbe that has, in accumulated deaths, taken over 1 billion lives.
1 billion. It's a number that doesn't even feel real.
It's staggering.
And here's the kicker, the really bizarre part. This killer is active right now. It is currently inside about 1 in 4 people listening to this.
That's over 2 billion people globally.
Right. And yet,
Yeah.
nobody's talking about it. There are no Drakey News headlines. It's
Yeah.
just there.
And that's because this microbe, tuberculosis, or TB, is the deadliest infectious disease in the world, but it flies completely under the radar. It kills about 1.3 million people a year.
Which is more than HIV and malaria combined.
Combined, yeah. It's the #1 infectious killer, full stop.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack this ancient and ridiculously successful foe.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out why the secret to fighting it might be as simple as, well, just standing in the sun.
Which brings us to the twist. The reason we aren't all panicking is that in about 95% of those 2 billion cases, the infection is dormant.
Latent.
It's latent, it's just waiting, which is why some people call it the ultimate ticking time bomb.
And that latency, that ability to just, hang out inside a person for decades. That's the first thing we have to break down. How on earth does it hide from the most advanced military force on the planet, the human immune system?
It is truly a masterclass in evolution. TB is a member of what you could call the latent club.
The latent club, I like that. Who else is in there?
Oh, viruses like herpes, Epstein-Barr, things that don't just hit you and leave. They set up shop. They can go in and out of remission, just waiting for your defenses to drop.
So while most bacteria are running for their lives from your immune system, TB does.
It does the complete opposite. It's the ultimate Trojan horse. It doesn't run from your immune system.
He runs to it.
It runs within it. It seeks it out. We call it the macrophage heist.
Okay, explain the heist.
The target is a type of immune cell called a macrophage. Think of it as the immune system's Pac-Man.
Right, the big cell that just goes around eating up all the bad guys.
Exactly. Its whole job is to patrol your tissues, find an infection, and literally engulf it. Then it uses powerful acids and enzymes to just dissolve it, an internal incinerator.
So the macrophage sees the TB, gobbles it up, and thinks, job done.
That is exactly what it thinks. But inside this little prison, the TB is basically smiling. It has this incredible defense mechanism that immediately blocks that digestive process.
Wow.
It prevents the acids and enzymes from ever reaching it. It starts building this protective shield around itself inside the very cell that was sent to destroy it.
That is terrifying, but I have a feeling it gets worse.
It does. Because it doesn't want to kill the macrophage. A dead cell sends out alarm signals, it calls in reinforcements.
So what does it do instead?
It hijacks the macrophage's power source, the mitochondria.
Wait, the little power plants inside every cell.
The very same. TB basically pulls the plug. It cuts the power, steals the fuel, and puts the macrophage into this deep, exhausted sleep.
So it turns the prison guard into a sleeping concierge.
A concierge that's also providing room and board. The immune cell becomes dormant, unable to fight, unable to call for help. And that's how TB can just wait. Sometimes for your entire life, for the perfect moment to wake up.
An evolutionary contract we never agreed to?
But one that it ruthlessly enforces.
Okay, so if 2 billion of us are walking around with this ticking time bomb inside, what are the triggers? What causes it to finally go from dormant to active crisis?
Well, the environment gives us some massive clues. When you map out where active TB is most common, 2 patterns just jump out at you: geographical and seasonal.
And let me guess. It's more common further away from the equator and more common in the winter?
You got it. Higher incidence in the northern and southern hemispheres, and a big spike every winter. That tells you right away that sunlight, and therefore vitamin D, is a huge piece of this puzzle.
So that's the external environment. What about what's going on inside our bodies? What makes someone's internal environment perfect for TB to wake up?
There's a pretty clear list of conditions that weaken your defenses and basically roll out the red carpet.
Let's hear it.
Number 1, type 2 diabetes. The chronic inflammation really compromises the immune system. Number 2 is HIV, for obvious reasons. It just dismantles your defenses.
Okay.
3 is just getting older. Your immune system naturally weakens over time. But the 4th one, and this is one we can really do something about, is having very low levels of vitamin D.
The sun connection again. But it's not just that TB waits for you to be low on vitamin D, is it? It's more sinister than that.
It is. It doesn't leave things to chance. The bacteria actively produces compounds that block your body's vitamin D receptors.
You're kidding. So even if you get some sun, it makes it harder for your body to use it.
Exactly. It's like it's cutting the phone lines between your headquarters and your troops on the ground. It's a dual strategy to ensure it can persist.
Which brings us to the 1980s, because there was this huge public health campaign that seems to line up perfectly with a big rise in TB outbreaks.
The sun phobia era.
Yeah.
It was this massive, singular message. The sun is your enemy. Avoid it. Slatter on sunscreen. And while it came from a valid place, skin cancer prevention, it may have had this massive unintended consequence.
We solved one problem, but maybe made another one worse.
We might have inadvertently lowered the population's primary defense against this kind of deep systemic infection.
And this is where it gets so confusing for people, because you see studies all the time saying vitamin D supplements do nothing for infections. What is going on with that research?
This is a huge, huge methodological flaw in a lot of that science. When you really dig into the studies that showed no benefit for TB, you find they were giving people vitamin D in monthly doses.
Once a month. That sounds
Yeah.
useless.
It's pharmacologically pointless for an immune issue. Vitamin D has a half-life of about 15 days. So you give a giant dose, you get a spike, and then for the last week or two of the month, your levels are back in the basement. You need a steady daily supply.
And the amounts we see on the bottles, the standard RDA, that's not for this purpose, is it?
Not at all. The standard 600 or 800 IUs, that's the bare minimum to prevent rickettsial bone disease in children. That's a totally different biological target than arming your immune system against the world's deadliest killer.
So for someone who's older or has inflammation or an active infection that's blocking the receptors, what kind of dose are we talking about?
For a therapeutic effect, you're often looking at something in the range of 6,000 to 10,000 IUs every single day.
Wow.
And even more if you're obese, because body fat sequesters vitamin D away from your system.
And we actually have historical proof that this approach works. Before we had antibiotics, what was the go-to treatment for TB?
You were sent to sanatorium. And these weren't really hospitals. They were more like health resorts, usually high up in the mountains.
For the fresh air?
And for the sun.
Mhm.
Maximum sun exposure was a core part of the therapy.
And this wasn't just to make people comfortable. This actually worked.
It was incredibly powerful medicine. Before sanatoriums, the mortality rate for TB was around 70%.
70.
With just fresh air, sun, and often cod liver oil, which is packed with vitamin D, that death rate was cut almost in half, down to 30 or 40%. It proves that the environment is a profound lever you can pull.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is the actual weapon inside us that vitamin D unlocks?
It activates a powerful, broad-spectrum antimicrobial compound called cathalytin.
Cathalytin.
It's one of your body's best internal antibiotics. It works on bacteria, viruses, fungi. It's a powerhouse. But its production is completely dependent on having enough vitamin D.
So no D, no cathalytin.
Essentially. And the data is clear. If your D levels are low, your risk of latent TB becoming active TB jumps by 5 times. You're leaving your best weapon locked in the armory.
Okay, so that's a huge piece of the puzzle. Vitamin D from UVB light is the ammunition. But here's the part that I think is the real twist in this story, the part that almost no one knows. The sun's power isn't just about vitamin D. There's another invisible weapon in sunlight that directly counters TB's whole strategy.
You're right. This is the missing piece. When we think of sunlight, we think of what we see, plus maybe UVB for vitamin D. But over half, more than 50% of the energy coming from the sun is actually infrared light.
IR. The
Yeah.
invisible part, the
Well,
part you feel is warmth, right? Like from a campfire.
Exactly. And what the science is now showing is that infrared light is a completely separate and direct weapon against TB. Remember how TB hijacks the mitochondria and puts the cell to sleep?
It pulls the plug.
Infrared light plugs it back in.
Wait, really? It recharges the immune cell's battery?
It directly reverses that mitochondrial damage. It acts on a specific enzyme that essentially flips the power switch back on. This increases cellular energy, it boosts oxygen, and it increases nitric oxide production.
All of which are anti-TB weapons.
Powerful ones.
So this is a 1-2 punch. Vitamin D gives you the ammunition, the cathalytin, and infrared wakes up the sleeping soldier and gives it the energy to use the weapon.
It's a perfect synergy. It explains why the sanatoriums worked so well. It wasn't just one thing, it was the whole package. IR also helps with sleep, builds melatonin. It helps your body use vitamin D more effectively. Our biology is designed to get this full spectrum of light every day.
And that leads us to the modern tragedy. We spend, 93% of our lives indoors.
Inside a box.
And the light we fill those boxes with is, well, it's actively working against us.
This is the LED problem. Modern lighting is built for energy efficiency, not biological compatibility. It's almost all visible light, heavily skewed towards blue light, which can jack up our stress hormones like cortisol. And critically,
It has zero infrared.
zero therapeutic IR. We are systematically starving our cellular batteries of the energy they evolved to run on.
And with new regulations, it's about to get even worse.
That's right. There's a mandate coming around 2028 to phase out the old incandescent bulbs. And for all their inefficiency, they did produce a beneficial full spectrum of infrared light.
They were like mini suns.
In a way, yeah. And we're replacing them with these very narrow spectrum LEDs.
So we're taking a stressed out indoor population and forcing them to live under light that cranks up stress hormones and offers zero of the restorative mitochondrial healing light they need.
And that combination, more stress, less repair, is the exact signal a dormant bug like TB has been waiting for. It's the defenses are down alarm bell.
So wrapping this all up, what's the real takeaway here? It seems like dying from TB today is less a failure of medicine and more a failure of our environment.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's a failure of immunity. The ultimate defense is rooted in epigenetics, in giving your body the right environmental signals to allow your genes to do their job properly.
We have this ancient contract with this microbe.
We do. We evolve together. The deal was you can stay here, dormant, as long as we keep giving our bodies the tools to keep you in check. Tools like sunlight.
But we broke the contract. We moved indoors. We live under artificial light.
We changed the terms, and we're seeing the consequences.
So if our bodies are designed, right down to our mitochondria, to function under the full, rich light of the sun, it leaves you with a pretty big question. What's the hidden price we're paying for efficiency? What's the true cost of a life lived under a light that's missing half its power?